Hey guys, I'm just sending you a little video so that we can talk about chapter 10. Now that you have taken a look from your book, um, the readings that I asked you to read, um, reading 1, 2, and 3, so pages 106, 107, and 108 and 9. Well, I think that's what I told you. Readings 1, 2, and 3. If you didn't get to reading 3, that's okay. You can do it now. But anyway, so from our book, chapter 10, reading 1 is all about, well, first of all, the title is Resumes, Fact or Fiction, right? So um, the first reading really discusses the widespread practice of lying on resumes. So if you don't have a resume, you might, look online and see, what resumes look like. But it's usually just a one-page description of all of your background, your information like your name and your phone number, your email address, and your work experience and your education experience. So that would be a resume. But what we're learning about in this chapter is how people lie about different things, and that's a big one. So that's what reading 1 is all about. And the word widespread means, this is probably a word you're hearing a lot about now, especially with the virus, which means it's going all over. So widespread means all over. People do this all over. So that's really what reading 1 is about. Reading 2, it talks about giving the results of a survey, which reveals how often and at what different times, different circumstances people lie. So the title is Need to Lie? Better Make a Phone Call. So if you've read it already, you will notice that what they're talking about is when people are making a phone call, it's easier for them to lie, because when people send an email or put something in writing, um, they have a more difficult time in putting a lie because it's in black and white. That's what we say. It's in black and white because it's in writing or type. Anyway, so I want you to think about that. And reading 3 on page 107 is called Don't Be Fooled Again. So, if we were in class, I would ask you, what do you think what these different titles mean? But so to be fooled, which it means to somebody is trying to lie to you, really. So we have that reading. It has information about all the physical signs that someone is telling a lie. And this is kind of interesting because it talks about body language and eye movement, and if people are looking straight at you or looking away, different kinds of fidgeting, which is like if somebody takes a pencil and they're constantly doing this all the time, they're a little bit nervous. That's like fidgeting, or like this, or maybe they're biting their nails. Those are kinds of fidgeting examples. Anyway, let's go back for a second. So reading 1, there's a good number of little phrases here that I think might be a little difficult for you. So one of them, the first one is resume detective. So what's a detective? Remember, we've talked about clues and trying to find clues. So I want you to really examine that. What is a resume detective? Next is to get away with something. What do you think to get away with something means? The next one is, it's in quotation marks, and it says seriously misrepresent. And from our last lesson on euphemisms, this is a euphemism. Misrepresent. What do you think that means? The next ones are fictional degree, So a degree as in a bachelor's degree or a master's degree or a PhD. What do you think fictional degree means? Um, False job titles. Can, what I would like for you to do is, can you think of what a false job title might be? Then we have exaggerated responsibilities. Um, Exaggerated responsibilities. After that, changing the dates of previous employment. That's probably something you can understand. Self-explanatory. So if somebody says, for example, that they worked for 12 months at a place, but they actually only worked 2 months, they might change the dates of previous employment. Then we have fake degrees. Fake degrees. There's a phrase called harder to check. What do you think that means, harder to check? To give a reference. What does to give a reference mean? And then finally, to catch someone. What do you think it means to catch someone? When we're looking at reading 2, the better make a phone call one, that's email strings kind of popped out at me because I wonder if you know what email strings is. Think about all the emails that you send to people and a string, and what does that mean? What is an email string? Face to face, right? So face to face is really how we used to have our classes. That was face to face, but even now when we do have our face to face on Zoom, it's not the actual face to face. So that's a little different. A record of the lie. What do you think a record is? And I don't mean here record. Those have 2 different meanings. Record, a record of the lie. Then the next is encouraged to stretch the truth. What do you think it means to encourage somebody to stretch the truth? And then another one you probably know, work evaluations. I think you probably know what that might mean. In reading 3, there's a few other phrases I wanted to call your attention to. So we have foolproof. Okay, think about that. Another phrase called to stroke the chin. To stroke the chin. So this is your chin. To stroke means to do something like this. So what do you think that means? If somebody's stroking their chin. This is just because this book is old. It says to watch a tape of something. It's not a tape anymore. It's a digital recording. Anyway, how about to maintain eye contact, right? When we're giving presentations, you will hear professors, teachers to tell you to maintain eye contact. To maintain means to keep, right? How about an unconscious reason? Unconscious reason. Think about that one. To break the rules. Who breaks the rules? Odd one out. Think about that one. Sometimes when kids are playing soccer or baseball or any kind of sport, there might be too many kids on the team for each side, and then there has to be one person left out. So that's kind of where that comes from. But it just means something unusual, atypical, not the part of the group. Okay, and then with body language, think about body language, and then to detect lies. Okay, so those are my introduction to you about readings 1, 2, and 3. If you haven't read them yet, go ahead and read them. Keep in mind all of these vocabulary, words, and phrases that I just gave to you. And then what I want you to do is I put some homework on to Canvas. One is fill in the blank, and then another is a word close. I can't remember exactly what they are, but one's a chart, one's a fill in the blank, and I think there might be one more, but we're going to work on all of that. Feel free to watch this video again if it helps you. And in the meantime, we will meet again on Tuesday night at our usual time. I'll start a little early. and we'll meet. And I hope everybody can join. Okay. So take care, you guys. Get in a nice walk. I mean, it's a beautiful day. I should be doing the same thing. um, but I'll see you guys on Tuesday night, and feel free to send me, an email if you have any questions. Okay. Okay. Bye.